What's going on, everybody? It's Trade Runner. Welcome to another trading analytics video. So the overall market saw a bit of a range-bound trading all throughout the day, but Texas showing some sign of weakness, and we'll get into that momentarily. But before we do that, SPY, right? Taking a look here, we see that we had bounced off of the previous all-time high zone that we had closed above on Friday's day of trading, and as you can see, we are just basically range trading between a $2 window on the overall S&P 500. Now, if the Bulls lose this 567 zone at any point this week, then it's likely they're going to retest its support here at 560. Now, something to keep in mind is that we have been making higher highs on the overall S&P 500, bolstered in fact by the fact that we have the Dow and certain names hitting all-time highs off of the news that we're going to get these rate cuts at a 50 basis point level. But at the end of the day, if the Bulls cannot hold that key level, then we're going to see a significant pullback. And why I think that's more likely than not, we're actually going to jump over to the next ticker. We're going to jump over to the Qs. And you can see here, the Qs has a similar setup to SPY, except for the fact that it's pretty far away from the all-time highs, whereas SPY is trading consistently near the all-time highs or at or around the all-time highs established last week. So here in the Qs, you can see we had a nice trend line bounce here on the daily, and we broke through the downtrend line to retest the resistance here at 486. Now, the issue is why I'm saying that there might be some downside on the horizon is the fact that the Qs rejected not once, not twice, but 3 times from that 46 zone and has been unable to break with any sort of consistency. And then you see big names like Microsoft, Google as well having trouble with their respective levels of resistance. I do think that the Qs are more likely in line for a retest to validate this double top zone here, retest the downtrend line here at 470, and to see if that's going to hold as support for a higher low bounce to break through and give the Bulls the momentum they need to break through 486 to retest all-time highs. Now, in a similar vein, looking at SOXX, the semis, you can see here that they also had a double bottom bounce through the trend line retest and were looking to retest the resistance at 237. However, they were unable to reach that as a lot of momentum fell when NVIDIA and AMD were pulling back today. And you can see here we had 2 consecutive red days on the semiconductor ETF. Now, the 2 possible scenarios that can happen with this. We can catch this little minor support zone here at 224 and use that as a springboard to bounce up to 236. But I think the far more likely scenario, due to the weakness that we're seeing and the fact that we're actually establishing now a lower high trend on SOXX, that the chips are going to see a pullback and we'll look to retest this intersection of the trend lines to determine if we're going to go lower to close this gap down here at 210. Right. So once we close that gap at 210, which happens to be where the just below where the intersections cross for those two lines, then if we fail that retest balance, so we can see a retest all the way back down to 192 to potentially close this gap down here at 187. Now, I don't think that that is likely right now in the short term, but I do think that we're going to see that pullback again, namely due to the weakness that we're seeing in the Qs and SPY. But jumping over here to a little bit more of a bullish chart, going to the Dow. And you see the Dow Jones has a similar chart to SPY, where you can see here, and we actually draw it out in real time. We got a nice double bottom, nice trend line bounce, higher low bounce here. Off of this gap fill that the wick closed to fill the gap, bounce from there, and now we're retesting all-time highs. We're about $3 away from all-time highs, as evidenced by this big, thick yellow line that I drew. So want to see how bulls interact with this. And pretty much, again, we were range trading today on this individual ticker, but with names like Walmart, Home Depot, and Lowe's and the like, seeing all-time highs or either at or near all-time highs, I think that the Dow has some room to go and retest and break through that 423 zone in the relative short term. But in any case, I want to give you guys a quick Monday update heading into the rest of this week. We have a ton of Fed speakers throughout the remainder of this week, so there's going to be a lot of increased volatility. So you don't want to get caught with your pants down, so to speak. Make sure you trade lightly, trade smartly, and trade the chart patterns, because at the end of the day, the charts are your friend. I've been Trade Runner. This is Trading Analytics. Check out our Discord. Link to that's in the description of this video, as well as in our channel bio. Thanks for watching.